Good afternoon, and welcome to the Market Minute. I'm Eric Odom. I'm the principal broker for Net Lease Commercial Advisory. Today we have two very special guests with us, and I'd like to just go ahead and roll right into them. Terry Hunt. Terry's a local developer. I think you've been in the market for about 30 years now, developing primarily industrial buildings, correct?
That's correct.
Great to have you here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And then, of course, the next person probably doesn't really need much of an introduction. It's Martin Gramatica. He was the former place kicker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're really happy to have you here today.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
Well, yeah, tell me a little bit about, how long has it been since you stopped playing?
2.5 years now.
2.5 years. And so since then, what have you been up to?
Well, I started a green, energy efficient, prefabricated construction company with both of my brothers, so that's kept us pretty busy.
Yeah, Bill and
Bill and Santiago both work.
And Santiago, both working, so the three amigos are together in business.
Amigos every now and then.
Okay. now, how did you guys Terry, you're working on this project with Martin and the Gramatica brothers, and how did you guys get together on this?
Well, probably 3 years ago now. Deborah Tamargo, a longtime realtor friend, brought those people, and the humor around our office is Deborah brought them in to buy a building from me, and 2 weeks later, I threw away $18,000 worth of prints that were ready to go for permitting, and we redesigned the office we're in right now, my new corporate office, and the two warehouses that we were ready to break ground on, and adopted his product for the exterior of the building, and I've never looked back. It was the best $18,000 I've ever thrown away.
The best $18,000. So just to get it straight, you were ready to go, and you had previous plans, and then you met Martin, and the product you saw as beneficial for you, that you just basically trashed the entitlement work that you'd already done on it, and started from scratch.
That's it, exactly. And it gave us an opportunity to be a little bit different. And I think, in the economic world that we're in, somebody, a developer or a realtor, anybody in the real estate business wants to have something a little bit different. And this product that Martin brought to the table, I seen where it would give us an opportunity to be different. And it's really worked for us. We are different.
Well, you guys brought some samples here. I think, Martin, you want to maybe explain a little bit about what this is?
Sure. The core of it's closed-cell polystyrene, and then it's skinned with 2 fiber cement boards. The benefit of it, 100% is the main benefit is the energy efficiency. With Terry's walls, we have an R32 with an 8-inch wall, where a block wall would give you an R value of 1. So that's right there, it increases it tremendously.
To explain R values, what exactly does that mean?
That's the insulation value of the product, or
okay.
From an R1 to an R32 on the same thickness of panel.
So it's almost like a styrofoam almost.
Basically what it is. What we tell people is basically you're building an igloo cooler on the shell of your building.
But the exterior of it is that's a very hard substance, a very hard material.
That is a fiber cement board. Most people know like a hardy board. We use Nichiha, which is the same standards. It's just a little greener. So by doing that, you have the hard skins on the outside and the foam on the inside. There's some competitors that put they pour the cement in the middle of the foam and have the foam on the outside. So that makes it a softer product. This way, you never get to the foam. Termites won't eat it because they won't eat the foam, they won't eat the glue that we use, and they definitely won't eat the fiber cement. We used all steel track in Terry's building, so obviously they won't touch any of that. So basically Terry's got a 100% termite-proof building on the shell, and obviously energy efficient.
So let's talk about strength a little bit, because it's important in the state of Florida. You've got the hurricane situation. How does this substance hold up with hurricanes, for example?
Right, we had the whole product tested for Miami-Dade and also for a Florida product approval number. The standard system that we sell, it starts at 130 miles an hour. From there, you can engineer it to about 200 miles.
Wow.
So anywhere in the range. We have a house going on the water right now, it's 170. So you can, and it's the same panel you use for a 100 square foot shelter that we sent to Haiti to 10,000 square foot like Terry's buildings or even his corporate office. The same panel.
How would that compare with concrete block?
On the price or the energy efficiency?
No, on the strength. The strength. Of the
Oh, strength. We are stacking strength 5 times stronger than block.
Wow.
And then on the projectile where they shoot the 2x4, we're the only company that's passed the Miami-Dade where they shoot the 2x4 with a fiber cement board. Some people have passed it with like metal skins and all that, but the difference with that is the metal skin tends to sweat. It's kind of like a Coke can, where the fiber cement does not sweat, so it won't peel your stucco off.
Gotcha. Well, Terry, this is the building we're shooting this in is made out of this material, correct?
100%.
Well, tell me a little bit about, this is the thing that struck me. It's how many square feet again? This
In our corporate office?
the corporate office.
2,000.
2,000 square feet. And the dollars and cents of it, the most expensive energy bill you had was in the summer, like most of us, right?
Absolutely.
And then what was that on a 2,000 square foot structure?
We've never had a bill over $165.
Never had a bill over 165. And in the winter, it's running.
Well, the unique thing about in the wintertime, it runs in $70, $80 range. We never turned the heat on one time this winter. Your refrigerator and your computer towers throw enough heat out. The lowest temperature ever got in here was 68 degrees.
So just, when you kind of, over the course of time, over a year, it sounds like it comes out to about $100 average over a year, right?
Well, everything's relevant to that, but I think the number would be a 50% savings.
50% savings.
From what your energy bills, my house bills are considerably more than this, and obviously not made out of this product. And I got 5 or 6 tons in my house, and I'm paying $300 and $400 on that particular bill right now.
And that would make sense. I mean, commercially, the average in Tampa is about $1.50 a square foot annually for electric costs, and you guys are just on this building are running in the neighborhood of about between 75 cents and $1 a square foot. So that would be about right then.
Well, I hired an engineer when we did one of these commercial buildings, and made him use all of Martine's specs for the product, and the AC system was cut more than 50%. They wanted 11.5 tons if it was conventionally done, and they did it for 6 tons.
Wow.
They wanted to do it for 5. I had them bump it.
Just to be conservative.
This is my first building.
Right. Now, what is the product called?
SIPs.
SIPs. What does that stand for?
Structural Insulated Panel Systems.
Okay, insulated panel systems. Okay. And so you're actually your development here is the United Business Park off of Hillsborough. And you've actually already constructed warehouse facility out of the SIPS product, correct?
We've constructed 2 10,000 square foot buildings, and the ability to finish this product off in a warehouse atmosphere is very unique. You don't have to put anything on it. You finish it like drywall. And we'll walk into one after a while, and I'll show you, and you'll think it's drywall finished, but it's actually this panel just taped and mudded, and for a warehouse look, it's very, very pretty.
Terrific. Now, in terms of LEED, that's the buzzword in the construction right now, and that seems to be the standard. Are you guys LEED certified?
Our product is, yes. So we get everything from within 500 miles. So in order to get a LEED certified building, the best and the quickest way to get to that point system that you need to get to is by doing a SIPS shell.
So I think we've got a pretty good idea now of what the base of the product is and how it's working. Why don't we go outside and take a look a little bit further on what you guys are working on? How does that sound?
Perfect.
Love
Great.
to.
Perfect. So here we are in a SIPS building, and I think it's probably been a month the first time since I came out here, and it was this was an air conditioned space, but the first time I walked into one was not air conditioned, and I think it was, to me, it was notable because it was hotter than Hades outside, and you walked into the warehouse and it still felt like it was night because it had trapped the air inside and how efficient that is. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this space, Terry, and what's in it and how the SIPS is working here?
Well, we built this building for Keith Rucker, and Keith owns Quality Power and is a very large power equipment lawnmower dealer, probably the largest in the southeastern United States. And the reason he's here is because of the SIPS product. And we gave him an energy efficient building. And when I was giving you those numbers before, that's the engineer that was in this building that did it. So the product finishes off like drywall, as I told you before, and it's just a very easy, friendly product to work with. You can do anything you can do with drywall, and all this bottom stuff is just adhered to the SIPS product. There's no furring, there's no nothing. It's just the steel system of merchandising all this is just attacked right onto the SIPS product.
But it actually looks like drywall. I mean, if you came in here and if you didn't know any better, it looks like drywall.
You could tell somebody's drywall.
And if you're working on a residential property, I would assume that there's benefits to that because you're not having to put your cinder block and then put a frame and then put drywall. You're probably some cost savings there, I would think.
Cost savings because we run the electrical chase through the foam, so then you just pop out your boxes. So instead of having a 12-inch wall by the time you're done with block, fern, and drywall, you have a 4-inch wall, so you increase square footage of the house too. Not only the savings, but the square footage and obviously the R value.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about the user. Why does a user care that this is an energy efficient facility? Talk about it to me just from not only from the tenant side but also from the owner side.
Well, number one, as I told you earlier, the air conditioning here was taking 11.5 tons. That's 2 systems. Now we have one system that's 6 tons in here doing it. So from the maintenance side, you're at least 50% less maintenance, and they run 50% less time. So your energy bill's down and your maintenance bill's down because they're not running all that time. There's times that the air conditioner just won't come on. It'll maintain it that temperature for long periods of time. So from an owner, and Keith is on a lease purchase program, and we give 20% of his rent back in a 5-year period so he can purchase the building. The SBA's got programs that works well with. Your banks will acknowledge that. So the energy savings alone will make a huge difference in his budget over a 5-year period.
Gotcha. And so what are you finding payback periods on this type of a structure for the owner, from the owner side? And I think after you're running the air at less amount and you're using less electricity, and it costs a little bit more actually to build, right? I mean, there's a little bit of
that's where the misconception is.
Okay.
Where people equate it as a hybrid car, where you pay a lot more for a hybrid car. Here, you're paying even cheaper than you would with block. Equally performing, we're about 10% cheaper. Plus, you have the energy savings of the.
Gotcha. So it's right off from day one. You're essentially
from day one. There is no payback period. In the simplicity of this product, my concrete block guy is 60 years old, been doing his whole adult life. Looks at me and goes, "Why would anybody build out a concrete block?"
Huh.
That's the man in business for concrete block.
And the other advantage too, you can make it look beautiful. Like you can see Terry's buildings. More people think that just because it's a SIPS building, it's made out of foam, that it has to look a certain way. You look at Terry's buildings, you would never know they're made out of SIPS. So that's another advantage. You can finish them any way you want. So that's another huge advantage.
Terrific. Well, guys, I really appreciate you spending the time with me today. And I was told to ask you one last question. Who is going to win the Super Bowl this year?
Man, I always got to cheer for the Bucks. So I'm going to cheer for them. I'm not sure if we're there yet, but I'm going to cheer for them.
Big start to the season already.
Yeah, big win yesterday.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
big win. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Eric,
Thank
you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Uh-huh.